Good morning. Happy Wednesday. I'm Colleen from GE Designs. That's Mr. GP producing over there. And look at that awesome quilt he has behind him. We'll talk about that in just a second. We're so happy you're here. We love One Yard Wednesday. This is the show where we have fun and creative ideas for fabulous fabrics at fantastic prices. And today, of course, we do. Sit back and relax and watch the show. The sale prices of $7.99 per yard will go live when the show is finished, so you can just sit back and enjoy. So thanks for saying hello from everyone. Some familiar friends, some old friends, some new friends. We just love that greeting, don't we, GP? Knowing where people are from and what you're up to this morning, so thank you. Oh, I love that color. Thank you. This is my favorite color, if you know me, and this is my favorite Halloween shirt. Not really Halloween, but kind of my Minnesota Halloween shirt, because I won't see you all before Halloween. So a couple of you from Texas said hello. That's so fun because we'll be there. Kara and Josh will be there tomorrow, right? And so we'll be setting up. I'll see you there next week. It's just going to be so much fun in Houston. Looking forward to it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the quilts on the set before we get started. The quilt behind me is called Frequency. I love this quilt. It's got such a fun use of this background, and then these strips in here could be anything bright. They could be stripes. They could be all kinds of fun things. So I really love Frequency. It's in the book Stripology Mixology, and I'll show you that before we finish. And then the quilt behind GP is, love that one, Hope, also in Halloween fabrics, which we just love.
Gotta have the spooky fabric.
It is spooky, spooky, so much fun. Hope and spooky, that's kind of an interesting combination. So, so today's fabrics are all about stripes, which leads me to ask the question, how do you use stripes in your quilts? And what are some fun ideas for using stripes? So put your answer in the comments, and we'll be watching. And before we close, I have got a couple of ideas and things to show you, which are some good ideas, I think. We tend to shy away from stripes, and we should just love on them. They're so fun. Alrighty, so should we get started looking at fabrics, GP?
Let's do it.
All righty, here's the first fabric. This is Diagonal Stripe Cream. So diagonal stripes are particularly useful because they're very forgiving. So if you cut a width of fabric of a diagonal stripe, you're going to get, obviously, the diagonal, and you don't have to worry, are they going to match up, are they not going to match up, because they're just going to have a lot of movement and a lot of interest. This is super fun. Diagonal stripe cream. And then we have a dark stripe, and the diagonal, this is from the Vista line by Wyndham. This one is called Night Drive, and I love this. It almost looks like a chalk was used to make these stripes. Again, the diagonal is so cool, and these dark colors are really, really warm and wonderful. The next stripe is also diagonal stripe lava. So this is a creamy stripe with a little bit of a kind of an apricot stripe called lava, and again on the diagonal. So fun. Next up, diagonal stripe hedge. So these are from the same manufacturer, same width of fabric, same width of stripe, and you can see how they look great together. These would be fun in pretty much any quilt. Now we have some stripes that are just regular horizontal stripes, and the kickoff for this group is Love Note Pink Stripe. Now all of these stripes are oriented so that the stripe goes along the length of fabric. So if you open this up and you cut this, you're going to get a cut, so your stripes are going to be perpendicular to your cut. So this makes, when you see some photos and ideas of ways to use stripes later on, you can see how this is so easy to do. And you don't have to worry about the stripes lining up because you're cutting across them. there are some stripes that are printed on length of fabric. So when you see stripes, just ask yourself, is this a length of fabric or is this a width of fabric? Most stripes are length of fabric. The next stripe is, this pink is so fun. This one is Sunday Stroll Pink. So it's got a light pink and then a little darker pink, kind of a cranberry, almost red. Very, very pretty. So this would be pretty in a holiday application with that fun red in there. Next up, this is so fun with the green and the aqua and the red. Christmas morning. So now I'm starting to think about things like gift bags. So how fun would it be to give a gift made out of this really fun fabric? So maybe you don't want to put a stripe in your quilt, but this was $7.99 for a yard, would make you some really fun gift bags, and we have a free pattern at GEQuiltDesigns.com. Next up is another Christmas looking print, Holly Jolly stripe in the holly colorway, so greens and reds and whites, really fun. Again, bags would be fun, napkins would be fun, runners, lots and lots of ideas here. Next up is Morning Blossom. So Morning Blossom has more color variation in it, including a yellow and different shades of red and green. So pretty. I love this one a lot. And the next one is another one that would be great with any holiday use because it's got the red and it has a little stripe of shimmer in here. Scandi stripe red. So if you have anything from the Scandi bundle or the Scandi line, add this to your Scandi stash. This is so pretty. And then next up is a more variation in width of stripe. This one is called Gala Hero. Now I look at this and it looks a little bit masculine to me because of the browns and the greens. Now again, think gift bag, think napkin, think runner, think things where you want to add a punch of stripe and give some stripes a try. And the final stripe is this one, which is called Kawa Sapphire. Now I think you're probably wondering, is this a batik? And it's not a batik. It's a cotton, but it does have that batik vibe, doesn't it? So let me show you. So here's the wrong side of this. And this is a really beautiful fabric that in this beautiful sapphire color. Love it. Do you have a favorite, GP?
I would like that blue one, the last one.
The last one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Alrighty, well, it's time for I've Got a Notion. Let's see what our notion is. So last time we talked about the notion being pins, and today they're pins again because we've got a couple of great pin options here. Last time I showed you the magic pins, which are for patchwork. So they've got this silicone head, easy to hold on to, and they're short and they're very sharp. So these are great piecing pins. Today we have the magic pins, and these are called flathead pins like the others. These are longer and heavier, not as fine as the other pins, and these are the pins that we're recommending and sending in the if you ordered the what did we call that? The Fast and Furious starter kit. These are the pins we sent in there because this is our new favorite pin for doing Quilt As You Go. Quilt As You Go is so much fun, but getting through all those layers with a pin to hold things in place is so important. So I also last time showed you the Zirkle magnetic pin holder. So now this is what, well, you can see my needle minder. I've got the two pins on here, and I don't put, pardon me? Yeah, yes, Listen to me, yeah. So here's my Zirkle magnetic pin holder, and I've got the two kinds of pins on here. And I don't frequently use any more than these at one time. So this way I have the little ones for piecing, and I have the big ones for quilt as you go, which I do all the time. In fact, we're putting together some tool kits for our quilting for a cause that we do here at GE, and those kits are going to have these pins in them because these really are our favorites. So grab yourself some magic flathead pins and you'll just love them. If you haven't tried them, you will love them. So that was my notion. I love that little graphic. I just said stand here and look at it and smile. Thank you, Carrie, for doing that for us. All right, so we at the start of the show, we asked, what do you like to do with stripes in your quilts? And how might we use stripes, incorporate them in quilts so that they're not scary. They're just fun and interesting. So let's take a look at a couple of ideas. The first picture I want to show you is an example where the stripes are used in borders. So you can see that the stripes are in mitered corners, which is really interesting, corner stones, which are always fun and look so finished and pretty, and then long horizontal borders. And you'll see that using the stripes as they were cut, as we talked about that earlier, you're not using the length of the stripe along your border, you're using the stripes as you can see them here, so you don't have to worry again of matching them up or laying them out properly. They're going to just land in a place that looks so nice. So that's an idea for border stripes. The next idea is how to use stripes in your blocks. So there are some ideas here. We've got the no crying flying geese. How cool do those stripes look in the geese? And again, they're going in the direction that will make them really easy to use. And that all of these blocks look so different and yet so interesting because the stripes. I love that churn dash block with the stripes going all around. It just gives me a lot of interest and a lot of movement, and I really love it. So the third use of stripes has to do with bindings. And we've talked about that before, but let's just take a look because some of the stripes that we have today would make great bindings. The first one is my favorite use of the stripe. This is a diagonal stripe, and that really adds a lot of fun to this placemat. So this is a fun diagonal stripe. This is not exactly a stripe, but you can see how just that little squiggly line, I guess I could call that a stripe, just gives, again, some interest and movement on this little runner, which is so cute. Next up is another fun stripe on a placemat or a little runner. So this uses that chevron stripe, and I love that as well. And it has a playful feeling like these shapes do. So it really goes and sets off, I think, this little piece. And finally, I've got a big table topper, and this is called True Hearts. And this topper has the heart shapes and then the stripe that is so fun and finishes this really well. So if nothing else, grab some of these stripes and put them in your stash for when you are in need of something fun for binding. So should we do a review? All right. Let's review the fabrics and the notions and all the fun. First up is Mr. GP's favorite. This is the Kawa Sapphire. I wish I knew why it was called that. I should have looked that up because now I'm intrigued. But
I think Kawa is the line.
Was the line. You know a lot about fabric, Mr. GP. Next up is this one that I think is so handsome from Whistler. This one is Gala Hero. And then we have some festive holiday looking stripes. This first one is Scandi Stripe Red with a little bit of a gold shimmer here. Next up, Morning Blossom. How pretty is this? And this does look like the Morning Blossom line, which was so pretty. And then in the Holly Jolly line, we have Holly Jolly stripe in the holly color. So that's the green color with a little cream and a little red. And then we have Christmas Morning, and this really does look like Christmas morning, doesn't it? Very bright and really fun. And after Christmas Morning, we have Sunday Stroll Pink. This was such a pretty line, and this pink will mix with all kinds of reds. I just love this color. Next up, Love Notes stripe. This is also pink, not quite as, this is a little bit more organic looking, so fun. And then we have the 4 diagonals, which I love. Diagonal stripe Hedge, diagonal stripe Lava. These two are from the same line. From the Vista line, we have diagonal stripe Night Drive, so cool and dusty and dark. And then we have diagonal stripe Red Cream. So a real pretty, again, festive looking stripe that would just add a lot to all kinds of projects. So those are our fabrics. Let me tell you about frequency. We have the frequency quilt behind me, which is in stripology, mixology, and it will make quilts in 5 sizes from lap to king, and a fun use of these stripes with all kinds of movement. That would be an awesome use of the stripes. And then we showed you Hope, which is behind Mr. GP, and that's a single pattern. So if you wanted to grab Hope, if you haven't tried that. Last time we showed you the Zirkle magnetic pin cushion, and I have it in use today with my favorite new pin, the flathead regular pins. So they're extra long, 2 1/8 inch long, and they are perfect for our Quilt As You Go. Last time I showed you the magic head pins for patchwork. Love those too. Frankly, I am so happy to have these pins because they make quick work and so much easier. So that's our show for today. Oh my gosh, this time goes so fast. Maybe we should just hang around and chat for a little while. What do you think?
We could.
We could, he says. You're so agreeable and such a nice person, Mr. GP. Listen, happy Wednesday. We hope you have a great Wednesday. Grab a stripology ruler, grab yourself some fabric, make yourself something wonderful today. I'm Colleen from GEDesigns, and that's Mr. GP. I couldn't do this without him, and look at him over there. What a great job he does. Hey, listen, I will see you next week on Wednesday morning, and we have another fun collection we're working on to show you then. So see you next time. Bye-bye.